What up, my people? Yes, I'm aware this is a different view than usual. First, make sure you hit the like button for me, please. You do not have to do it to the end of the video or whenever. Just if you appreciate the content, please make sure you hit the like button, guys. Or if you don't like it, hit the dislike button, because either way it helps the channel and I very much appreciate it. Also, make sure you guys check out DNKKnives.com, and if you purchase something from there, you can use the coupon code behind the edge 10 to get yourself 10% off. My normal paper that I show was out in the shop. I am in the house testing my new setup. Because it's cold as balls out there. It's 20 degrees out right now, and I'm not going out there trying to get a video out to you guys because it's freaking cold. Also, please, if you are interested in supporting the channel and like what we do here, there is a link to Patreon in the description, or you can join the My People channel membership, or there is the one-time super thanks and all that good stuff. So, that's all on that stuff. We're going to talk today about this AD20, but first, let me know in the comments how the lighting looks, because I can turn it up, make it brighter, or I can turn it down and make it not as bright. This is kind of just a trial run of the new lighting for in the house, and I did also get a proper camera recently. I got a GoPro. So I'm going to start using it as well, especially for lives, which I'm also going to start doing, hopefully very soon. Today, nobody is at the house, so I was able to do it in the house. Everybody's at school and work. My truck wouldn't start because it's a diesel, and I don't have a working block heater, and I couldn't get the damn thing to start, so I got a heater underneath the truck now. And if I can get it started, I'm going to work after I do this video. Yeah, that's it. The knife. There's a knife here. Let's talk about it. This is the Demko AD20 MG. This is the American-made full-size knife. It is pretty expensive. It's $650. And I consider this a USA-made high-end / elite production. So we are very close in quality to the upper tier elite production knives, and I would say it probably falls into that. In my opinion, $650 is not out of line whatsoever. Also, this knife is a unicorn. It's made in very small batches. I don't know the exact number of those batches, but I know this knife is extremely hard to get. They fly off the shelf, and they do not make very many at once. Excuse me. So there's that. We have a 3.75 inch LMAX blade, which is another rarity, even for this model. LMAX is not typically the blade steel that he uses, but it is excellent, and you can bet your ass it has a proper heat treat. I like LMAX quite a lot, and it should be used more. This is the full tie version. It also comes in G10 and other configurations. Yeah, this is the original big brother to the AD20.5, which is the absolute most popular knife of the past 2 years. Undeniable, full stop. There is no other knife that's as popular as the 20.5. It's very capable, incredibly fidgety, has one of the best and strongest locks on earth. It's a brainchild of Andrew Demko, who is also responsible for many, many classics with Code Steel and on his own, and has many of the best locks ever. Strongest locks and best locks, in my opinion. The Triad, Scorpion, and the Shark Lock. Absolute genius of the hard use genre, and that's just my opinions, but I'm sure nobody's going to disagree with that. This thing comes in many versions and iterations as well. We're going to do the pros and cons lineup Yeah, we're going to do pros and cons. First, I'm going to put it up against a couple that I have here, give you a size comparison. A lot of you guys are not going to, I'm going to turn that brightness up a little bit there. Okay. Not going to, these are expensive knives, so I did bring a couple of cheaper budget knives out that more people will be familiar with. Here it is up against the Strider SNG. So a little bit bigger than the SNG. Here it is against the Spyderco Police 4. So it is smaller than the Police 4. And here it is up against a knife that 90% of people will be familiar with. This is the Rat 2. So it is much, much smaller than the Rat 2. So it is a full-size, hefty boy. It is not milled out, thank God. So that is full thickness, full weight liner scales, but it, however, does have the slim blade on it. These do come in a thicker blade as well. This is the slim blade, which I would prefer the thicker blade, but the slim blade's awesome, makes it super, super slicey. First on the pros is the lock, obviously. The shark lock is magnificent. It is quite good, and most people will be familiar how it works, so I'm not going to get into that, but there's a demonstration for you. And when I say rock solid lockup, no play either way, and I mean as rock solid as lockup could ever be, which is actually very, very surprising to me. It blows a frame lock out of the water as far as being how rock solid it is. I mean, no play. For a knife that, it's just, look at that. I wish I could show you guys how rock solid that is. Comes perfectly tuned and super sharp right out of the box. I have not had to do anything to this knife whatsoever. I have not sharpened it or needed to sharpen it yet. It is blistering sharp and perfect right out of the box. Next, it's beautifully machined and textured titanium scales. I love the pattern on this. It's similar to the one that they have on the AD 20.5 version. It's just gorgeous. I like it. It feels good in the hand too, as far as grippiness. So definitely a pro in my book. Action. Come on. Action is quite neat, actually. I think it's pretty cool. But it is stellar and just straight up bananas. It's very, very good. And the fidget factor is on 11 on this, guys. This knife is just probably the fidget king overall. Ergos are about 8 out of 10, which is very, very good. And the only reason I give it an 8 out of 10 is just because it'd be really hard to get some, I'd give a 10 on anything. But they're not hand melting and the best ergos on the planet, but they are quite good. You don't feel the clip. Choke up position is awesome. And probably would get a better, get closer to 10 if the locking mechanism wasn't kind of in the way of my thumb. And that's just what it has to be. It's there and it has to be there. So it is what it is. It comes in many blade shapes, steels, studs or slots, or none. It'll either they come in just a slot with no stud, or just a stud and no slot, or both, like this one. I prefer it with just the slot with no stud, but they were out of those, and I got very lucky even getting this knife at the Nashville show anyway. But so it comes in so many different iterations. It's fantastic. Next is 100% USA made. You gotta be shitting me. Sorry guys, I just got a phone call, tried to come through. Anyway, back to the video. 100% USA made, which is rare nowadays. That means all screws, everything, 100% American made. from what I understand. If I'm wrong about that, let me know down in the comments, but that's the way I understand, and that is the research I was able to do. Has beautiful acoustics, which I'm sure y'all can agree. Whenever you deploy this knife, it has the most authoritative thwacking sound I've ever heard. Ah, just magical. It is a little noisy on when you're closing it up and in general, but man, there's no denying that thwack whenever you deploy this knife is just flat amazing. Next, blade is very well ground with great geometry. There's nothing to speak on other than that. It is pretty much perfect. Next, the clip works very well. A lot of people don't care for it, but there is aftermarket possibilities out on the market that you can get deep carry or different in general. So, but the clip works well. Also, next and last, the pros, this knife is totally ambi, left or right hand carry, tip up like God intended, and actually the last thing is this knife is just flat fucking gorgeous. It is. It's beautiful. On the cons, there's not many, again, but I have to throw them out there. It's super hard to get, which kind of sucks for a lot of people. First of all, it's not even a knife people can afford. Most people can afford anyway, so that's one of the other cons. It's expensive, and especially on the secondary, but even if it was, it's just so hard to get because they don't make very many. Next con is what I said before. It is a little noisy, but that's part of, a lot of people like that. And what I mean by noisy is just all the fucking noises. Yeah, anyway, a little noisy. Another con is kind of a sketchy disassembly. There's a lot going on here, even though it doesn't look like there is. You got a spring in here. Just in these pins are press fit on one side, not the other. You just got to be careful when you're taking this knife apart not to lose any of the parts and pieces. There's quite a lot of hardware, quite a lot going on if you disassemble it. So just be aware of that. And last, it's a little heavy for some people, but to me, it's spot on. So I don't know the weight. I don't have my, I'm gonna guess around 5.5, 6 ounces. So it's a pretty hefty boy. Let me know down in the comments again what I said about the lighting. How's it look? I will, of course, watch the video to see, but you know, everybody's opinion is very much appreciated. That's all I got for you on this one, guys. Video's getting a little long. How do you feel about this knife? How you feel about them secondary prices that creep above $1,000? Do you like this one better than the smaller 20.5? And they're also got a 22 out now as well. Anyway, talk about it in the comments. Be good to each other, love each other, and remember life is short, guys. So there's no reason to be an asshole or a dumb cunt. Later.